Spare somebody.
Okay, everybody, we're way late. But I just realized that it was on. So I just thought I would. This is just, you know, this is stupid. Honestly, it's stupid. But I'm doing it anyway. We're just gonna watch what's left of it. And you know, I just wanted a record of it. And I also want to make sure that the audio is in fact fixed. So that's another reason why I just wanted to take a record of what the audio sounds like in some kind of way. I also have the camera going, so not that this is a good way to record audio, but it is at least a way to record audio. So just, you know, put up with it. Okay, like, what do you want from me? Okay. One second. Let me just make sure that I put the link in. So sorry for my face being in the frame at the moment. I'm going to shut up and just let you watch.
And if you believe God is the chef, you don't think anybody's allowed to say, yeah, I think God can't cook. I think God's a lousy cook. So that's pretty much all that this subject really is about, is the oppressive, religious, crazy people. Their fables.
I can't add a link. Please put the link to your video description. Please put the link in your video description. Oh, okay. All right.
What they are
fuck you.
What you're allowed to do with their own existence. I mean, it's hilarious when you think about it.
Where's my video description? No, I don't want to report.
You naively say, well, I'll never really be right, so I'll just let it slide.
Oh, okay.
I'll let the silly religious people insult my intelligence by denying me a right to get out when I feel like it. All right.
The link to the live room, to the room, is in the description. So, you know, I haven't got the hang of the invite thing, so I didn't invite that many people, but obviously everybody is invited, so feel free if you want to come in. I'm going to shut up and just let things happen.
Every stage in their life when
I'm going to go get soda.
And be assured that this decision is always consistent, and the perspective is always consistent, and prevent anybody from making rash or decisions they wouldn't make in their right mind. But there's ways to protect against that. So it should get done. It's way past due. It's it's just one of the grandest imbecilities of our civilization, quote unquote, that it can't provide this minor courtesy to the suffering. Resisting the temptation to be really possible. Anyway. See you then.
It just means that I think that having kids is wrong.
What do you mean it's fucking wrong?
Well, I don't want to go through the whole argument now, but I just think that if you put your ego to one side and look at it rationally, there's no real need for continuing this whole life cycle thing. And by having children...
When there's 0 viewers, it doesn't matter that you can't see it. This is just for archival purposes, okay, people? Just for archival purposes only, really. Unless somebody chooses to experience it with me.
Spiritually mature enough right now.
No, it's not like that at all.
No, it is, right? Because I used to be like that. I used to be just like you, Dennis.
Just like me, really. Well, why don't you tell me, Dennis, what the fuck do I believe you want?
You think it's like wrong to have kids and that?
And why?
Because, like, you want to spend more time out on the piss with the lads and that.
Yes, again, fucker.
Because you don't find love.
Last chance, fucker.
I know. It's about selfishness, Dennis.
Finally I understand something.
Yeah, that's it. It's because you're too selfish and you want to go out in the piss with the lads and that.
Value, the most precious thing in the entire material universe, is the capacity for a consciousness to generate a sensation of horror and unpleasantness. That is where all value comes from. Not just some value, but all value is generated in the consciousness of sensitive sentient creatures.
On the education system. Yeah, education is really easy to fix. All these things are so easy to fix. So startling. The current system of paying performance artists to redundantly do exactly the same thing over and over and over again. All these different institutions all across the world. It's just senseless. Just do it once, do it very well, record it. We have the technology, play it for everybody, give them free access to it all, and pay them to learn it. So instead of paying teachers, instead of paying an industrial complex, pay the students and pay them well, and you'll get results. We're going to take half the budget of what's spent on education now and provide it as a reward for passing a GED. And I can promise you, with all assurances of my logical mind, that you'll be amazed at the results. That you'll have high school graduates at 12 years old. You'll have people hungry for knowledge. You'll have more engineers than you know what to do with. You'll have more scientists than you know what to do with. You'll have kids that won't be obsessed with sports and glamour and style and nonsense because they've gotten hungry for knowledge. They've got a feel for it. They're going to like it. It's just the truth. They're going to be hungry for more. And so you just radically change the nature of the human animal by rewarding it for doing things that make sense, not things that don't make any sense at all, like swimming around in circles in a swimming pool or some other nonsense. Anyway, just a really easy fix. Pay the students. They're doing the work. They deserve the money. It really isn't complicated. You want to get all those poor kids off the basketball courts. You want to get them off the streets and the drugs. Yeah, pay them real money. And they'll show up at the library. They'll show up and read the book because they're going to want the money. They're going to want to pass the test and get the money. It really is that simple. Yes, you have lots of tutoring and this and that. There's lots of intricacies that can be added, but no point in going into that in this introduction.
Why can't you invite your circles? Doesn't make any fucking sense.
The enable to model reality is an element of our strategy engine. Our senses give us the qualitative feeling of them we have our intelligence, our memory, capable of calculating, undoing logic, and creating a pattern model of reality that enables us to find the strategy. It is part of our human brain. Through modeling, we can create a plan that works in obtaining our own gratification, but it also gives us the ability to see agenda outside of ourselves in other feeling creatures. Agenda that's broader than our own gratification and satisfaction, to have that now become our agenda.
A couple things on the subject of economics. Yeah, well, the current system is probably crashing by the time there's anything. So what's the point? But anyway, we could have a fair system, a rational system, an earned system, where people earn what they get, and they're incentivized to do the right thing and not steal and cheat, lie, all that kind of stuff. That's what they call fair economics. Instead of, whatever, inheritance, nepotism, cronyism, all the negatives that exist in our system It's got who you know, what you know, all that kind of stuff. We don't have to have any of that. We've chosen to have that because no one will clean the mess up. No one wants to pretend we don't need to have a lottery system. We don't need to be insanely incentivized to do the right thing. That we can behave. Something to think about. Even like a fungus. Yeah. Funguses are probably smarter than humans. And in the sense that they won't, give it to nobody. They don't give it to the undeserving. Anyway, they're forced to earn it. That way. Yeah, that's enough. It's kind of complex as any idea would, which is not socialism. It's just this idea that you don't need billionaires. They're not efficient. They don't really produce anything. They squander your money on insane investments, on small print, lawyers, manipulations, deceptions. You guys don't need any of that. We really don't. We can have a lot more not-for-profit businesses that can serve most of our needs without any need to pay interest and indebtedness to people who want a paycheck for doing heavy work. We don't have to invest in those people. So anyway, yeah. So see you there. That's such.
Now back to our conversation between Mendham and Let's Unite. Round 2.
The potential praise for one more of us by anyone anywhere can't be justified today.
Yeah, I would certainly agree with you that we don't have time for doing it slowly. But I'm just saying that technically we're already on a path.
Yes.
If we just stopped the 20%. So I'm just saying the majority of people are already acting as if they understand. We know they don't understand. They're not doing it on purpose. But I'm just saying they're already acting as if they understand we're at peak population. Well, way past peak.
Sure, yeah, way into overshoot. So if we can provide reproductive freedom for everyone on the planet, it would go a long way. Is that other 20% that you're talking about?
Yeah, I wouldn't even want it to be freedom. I think we should extort them. I think we should bribe them out of their fertility. So I would be more aggressive in realizing that their stupidity is rather profound, and you're probably going to have to spend some money to get them to do the right thing. You're going to have to bribe them out of it.
Possibly so. But when we start making economic incentives, we target a demographic that's the poorest people. And in America especially, that gets into ethnic differences. Our institutionalized racism has caused a larger number of ethnic minorities to be in that demographic. So yeah, it might be a good idea to pay people to say get a vasectomy, but the rich people won't be motivated by that.
Well, like I said, we've already won the argument with them. They're already not reproducing it and maintain population rates, so they're already out of the game anyway. They've taken themselves out of the population game. So in a sense, like I said, if you just fix the 20%, over a 1,000-year period, you would decline in population to nothing if everything stayed the same in terms of the demographics of understanding. So if people remained the same, if they had the same understanding of what they want out of their life, which maybe isn't 4 kids, you would end up with no population after 1,000 years. But obviously, we don't have 1,000 years to go around.
Yeah. And each new person is going to have a life that includes a lot of suffering. So it's kind of the antinatalist idea, isn't it? That we shouldn't create another one just to suffer.
Yeah, well, that's our focus. Like I said, I was trying to figure out exactly, we end up with a similar conclusion. We get there through different reasons, right? So it's like you can be a vegetarian because you think it's healthy for you, right? So there's some vegetarians who are health nuts, and then there's vegetarians like me who are suffering nuts. So I would be in the suffering category, and everything for me is just the suffering equation. So I can't make a distinction between a suffering human and a suffering primate or a suffering wildebeest. So for me, the problem is nature itself. I mean, I was reading in your paper, and it said natural perfection. Okay, that's a quote from your writing. And I was just I'm just saying that's probably a good subject because I can't find any of that natural perfection. I mean,
I don't remember using that term.
Huh?
I don't remember using that term. That sounds kind of, oh well, I'll go with that.
Well, I'm just saying that there's a general tendency in the theme that is nature's better than stupid humans.
Yes.
Right. And so from my perspective, that's why I actually turn the word life backwards and call myself an ethicist now, because I'm not just anti-natalist.
Right.
I'm just not against humans procreating. I'm against all life procreating. It's just a bad news. It doesn't go anywhere good ever.
So even though our end result is the goal is to say eliminating humans, or you're saying eliminate all life, but we're one species out of the entire biosphere. So the reason I wouldn't go that far is to say that one species out of tens of millions doesn't really have a place to decide for the rest of them. We can decide philosophically, but to actually do it would be going too far.
Well, let's maybe use the analogy. Let's say you're on a bus. Who do you want driving the bus? Okay, the imbecile or the guy who actually has worked on buses for 50 years and knows everything about buses?
Well, yeah.
I mean, we're the smart guys, right? If we leave nature to the dumb animals and dumb horses, I mean, aren't we just advocating all responsibility? We're saying take the dumbest guy and put him in the seat, or don't put anybody in the seat. Just say let the bus crash, okay? And you're saying that's a responsible duty of a human? No, I'm saying humans have a responsibility to clean this mess up.
That's all the time we have for this conversation for this episode. But if you'd like to see the rest of Inmendum's conversation with Les Unite, please visit us at the Vloggerdome YouTube channel. There you can see the full interview, as well as tons of extras, other arguments, and lots of other stuff too. If anyone out there watching would like to make a counter-argument of any kind, please feel free to make a response video on YouTube, leave a comment, send us a message. You can also contact us on Facebook and Twitter. We'll be adding other social media networks as well soon. If we like what you have to say, your contribution could end up on the show. Hope to be hearing from you. Just as a personal note.
Hey, my assignment is a couple of
Hey, they did fix it.
On this idea of anti-determinism or
Sound fixed.
you are just a programmed thing.
Yes. For anybody
So, yes,
not watching or that might watch later,
in the coming episode,
they did fix the sound. So for anybody that is watching, I'm just going to interrupt for a second. I am just recording this just for sort of archival purposes, and also because there was I missed actually the third showing. This is the fourth and final showing of episode 1 in Chicago of Vloggerdome, and I just want to make sure that the sound problems were indeed fixed, and they have been, so that's very good. So carry on, watch away.
They change you, they scar you, they make you what you are, and they create the process that is your end result, passion, your desire, or will. You either understand it's important not to be a jerk, or you don't understand it. I always know about cats being stupid. It's lying in crud. Now he's got crud attached to him. But anyway, he is awful cute. That makes a big difference. So anyway, just like the cat has cat programming that makes it do cat-like things, which is jump in front of your feet and try to trip you, make you fall down and such. And I do this thing in the wind. Yeah, because what, I'm stupid? Apparently. Okay, I have a couple of defects, flaws, limitations, lacks, absences. But yes, that's all what we are. We're just a big bucket full of you either have it or you don't have it in terms of your understanding, your sensibilities. You're either sensitive or insensitive because of how you acquired your running instructions. What buttons have been pressed on you in your experience here on Earth, combined with your native genetic construction. Men behave a little differently than women, generally speaking, because they start off with a different physical construction. But Still, the variability is going to be based on what happens to you. You know, whether you get hit by a car or you don't get hit by a car, that kind of thing. And that's all there is. We're just reflexes. We're just byproducts. There is no product. It's just us reacting to the world based on what springs have been compressed inside of us. Yeah, and we'll prove it. We will. I mean, do an hour on that subject. We'll prove it. I mean, it's impossible not to prove it. Impossible. So be done with this idiotic notion of freedom.
Yes, and I think starting the 13th,
still jerks,
links or dates below
jerks.
To the episode about this, starting soon.
That's just a silly idea.
This.
You can still hold them responsible. There's still some purpose in that, at least for the purpose of deterrence. For the purpose of deterrence. You know, future. Future is the only thing that matters. That's one of the things we'll also prove some. We'll probably prove that in like 5 or 6 of the different video shows. And, you know, because that's an easy one too. Anyway, future's everything. Pretty much that way. Anyway, this is probably too much. More than enough.
So in conclusion, we are doomed. Try not to fuck anyone else over as much as possible. Try not to impose as much as possible. Just being alive makes you a taker. Your every happiness is paid for with another sentient creature's suffering. You are an asshole. Try not to be as much of an asshole as possible. It's extremely important for all of us to understand the myriad ways we can in fact be extremely dangerous in this world, and to try not to impose as much of that dangerousness on the rest of the world as possible. No matter how small you may be, you will in fact have an impact. Use what power you have to minimize the suffering. Please? There is a lot of ambient audio coming in from presumably other PNTV programs. I don't know why. It's kind of interesting. That's just a broadcast. So I don't know if that's something they can control. This is the credit scene, credit scene. I did nothing to. Bye-bye. Yeah, you can hear them. Speaking freely. Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much, everybody who, no one came, but that's okay. Nobody, don't worry about it. This was just really for me. I just wanted to record this so I could make sure the audio was okay. And quite honestly, I missed the 2 parts that were really fucked up. But actually, the last part was really fucked up the first night. Actually, it was sort of especially fucked up. So that was the part I was particularly interested in seeing if they had indeed fixed. And they did! So thank you for fixing it. All right. All the best. Bye for now. More soon.